everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here at University of Western States. My name is Georgia. I will be the person hosting your webinar today. I'm excited to get started learning a little bit more about our clinical mental health counseling program with you. There are two different options here if you'd like to focus on clinical mental health counseling. We do have a doctorate that includes our master's degree in it, nestled underneath there. But the thing we're going to focus on today is going to be our clinical mental health master's degree. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you, and we will get started here in just a moment. All right, so the schedule for today's webinar will cover a variety of topics. I will be exploring the history of UWS and introducing you to our program director and one of our faculty members who leads our clinical mental health counseling program. Afterwards, we will discuss the standardized patient program and how the structure of our online program looks for you. And then we'll briefly highlight licensure and certification options for students, as well as giving an overview of some of those courses that you will see in either of those degree programs. And then finally, I will introduce you to our entry requirements. We'll talk a little bit about financial aid, and we'll talk about next steps for getting to know more about this program or reaching out to your admission advisor. Today, we're aiming to take about 30 minutes of your time. We'll try to keep it tight in there, but we will have you in and out with a lot of good information. So let's not dilly-dally. Let's get started. So University of Western States, we got started back in 1904. We were originally a chiropractic college. In fact, we are the second oldest chiropractic program in the world, but since then we have added more degree programs. So in 1986, we received our regional accreditation. That is from the NWCCU, the Northwest Commission on Colleges and Universities. And then in 2010, we began to expand our healthcare programs, and this includes the clinical mental health counseling program. So clinical mental health counseling, our master's degree, is one of our newest. It launched in fall 2018, but not the newest. You can see there that we have some other programs as well. If you're interested in any of those, head to our website, uws.edu. That is a great place, as always, to find more information or chat with your admission advisor. So our program director is Dr. Michelle Rose. She is a person with a lot of different interests, an amazing array of experiences under her belt. Her history designing and developing counseling programs is what helped her create our unique program. And boy, is it a special one. Dr. Rose has her PhD in Human Development and Family Sciences from Oregon State University, and she is a licensed professional counselor in Oregon, a nationally certified counselor, and a nationally approved clinical supervisor. We also have our assistant professor, Dr. Amy Ohana, and she is going to be another familiar face in our program. So she has her counseling PhD from Oregon State, and she is a published author. She's an expert in several topics and regularly teaches in our program. She holds a professional counseling license in Oregon. She is a nationally certified counselor and an approved clinical supervisor. So why choose UWS? You can see a few things here that we have that make us really stand out. One of the unique features is our standardized patient component, and we will highlight this in the next slide, but this provides a unique and personalized learning experience for you. And it is a really special, and I've never seen it before in another program, but special experience for people looking to get some familiarity and comfortability with the program or with counseling before they start counseling. This is all faculty designed, and it's specific case studies, and we are simulating that real world experience. As you can see there, we do not have a GRE requirement, and your tuition is the same whether you are in state or out of state. Like I was mentioning before, with the standardized patient program, we are practice oriented. So our counseling internships get you real world experience. You'll have one of those in your program. And then our program is also flexible. So you can take up to 5 years to do this program. Some folks are taking 2 or 3 years, but you do have up to 5. So more about that SPP program. So that standardized patient program is a way to get you familiar with the counseling environment. We do this to provide interactions with these trained professionals. Many of them are professional actors, and they are fantastic at improv. Their unique teaching approach in this program is just fantastic because it helps develop those interpersonal skills. It helps develop your intake skills, and then, of course, sharpens those counseling skills. So I'll give you a moment here. This is just at a glance some information about our program. That cost per credit at $587 right now. Total cost of tuition $52,830, and it is 90 quarter credits. So 78 of those credits are going to be the core curriculum, and we will see that in a few slides where you'll get to take just a brief look at what those courses are. And then 12 of those quarter credits are elective coursework. And I keep mentioning quarter credits. We are on the quarter system is what that means. So the quarter system where every 11 weeks we're switching it up. We have 11 weeks of classes. That 11th week is typically a finals week, and then 2 weeks of break in between each of our terms. They follow the seasons. We've got a summer, a winter one, a spring and a fall, but each of them is going to be 11 weeks long and then 2 weeks of break. And then the time for completion, like I was mentioning, 2.5 years, but you do have up to 5 years to get things done. And it is entirely online. There's an asynchronous component and a synchronous component. And then things like internships, those are going to be in the student's local area, but we'll address those in just a second. And then those start terms, we have fall and then spring. So like I was mentioning, we are on the quarter system, 4 quarters per year. They're 11-week quarters. For time commitment for this, we recommend about 12 hours a week of work for each 4 credit course. So the math there is about 3 hours per week per credit that you're enrolled in. And this is a flipped classroom format. So that means that your time with your professor is spent practicing your skills and receiving that good feedback after reviewing the material at home. So what we do in that scenario is that we put the focus on each individual student's learning and your growth in the program rather than spend time just giving you that information. We know you can look over that in your time. And then when we get together, we want that to be a really effective use of time. Most students are taking 2 or 3 courses each quarter, and they are dedicating, like we mentioned, that 12 hours a week of work for each credit course. So about 30 hours a week if you're full-time enrolled in the program. And then the courses, including those discussion boards, the assignments for students to complete, the access to our digital library, all of that is taking place online. One thing I do want to make sure that we mention, so I mentioned that this all is happening online. It does have to happen in the US though. So we are not able to take international students at this time. We do have components that must take place inside of the US. And so your internship, that will be US based. So our students do need to be US based as well. So a little bit about becoming a licensed counselor. So if you considered becoming a licensed counselor, we're ready to help. We can be a step on that journey. Licensed counselors are people who are passionate. They are looking to help treat, diagnose, assess, mental health conditions. We help prepare you to take licensure examinations, but we do recommend that you check your state's guideline for more information about any of those requirements that might be specific to licensure in your state. So this is going to be helpful information, but students should always look into your local laws or the laws of wherever you may want to practice. So each state is going to have different requirements that will be up to you to make sure that you're familiar with, and then we can be a help with that as well. So we are constantly having those conversations and keeping you updated on those major changes. Dr. Rose is really fantastic about maintaining that consistent communication with students about those laws and rules for licensing boards in their state. So like I mentioned, we have really two programs that we're talking about today. Our main one that we're focusing on is our Master's in Clinical Mental Health Counseling. But if you were part of our larger educational doctorate, our EDD in Sport and Performance Psychology, you could also have this as a specialization. So this master's degree, it's preparing you for a counseling license. It is ideal for people looking for careers in mental health treatment. If you were getting that EDD, that also prepares you to sit for the Certified Mental Performance Consultant exam and the counselor license. So that would be ideal for somebody who's looking to expand their different streams of income, maybe diversify that a little bit more than just counseling. So we do have 2 and 3 year options for that master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. Like we've been mentioning, students do have up to 5 years. So you will be receiving program support and setting up a 1-term practicum and a 4-term internship. Your online courses are going to be ranging a wide range of topics. So you'll see in the next page, but they are going to focus on general counseling practices. We are focusing on integrative approaches. Human development is going to be a major aspect as well. And then you'll also, if doing that, concentration, take an elective that focuses on sport and performance psychology consultation as well. So, oh, my apologies. Let's head back to the meat of it. This is the exciting part for everybody, is to see exactly what courses will be covered. So our curriculum is taking you through the foundations of counseling before it's diving a little bit deeper into that clinical knowledge. You're doing this through practice. You will see that this is when some of that pre-practicum is coming up, that clinical internship is coming up. So we want you as the student to build a base of skills and refine them through those standardized patients and that practice before you head into that internship. Then here's the real good stuff. Everybody always loves to see the electives. So give you a moment to look over that, see all of that stuff. And as you can see, really neat electives in there, including ethical use of telehealth platforms. So this is something that's been added relatively recently. It's an exciting expansion. It's also really important. If you are taking that, you'll see you also need to take the assistive technology support for mental health treatment. All right, so a big question, how do I find a practicum or internship? Students will complete that field-based education in their own local area, like we were mentioning, and we can be of help. So students are the ones who set up this field site, but you are receiving guidance from our program director. Our instructors can be of assistance as well. Many students find success in partnering with local community members that might be in a mental health agency or a part of a professional networking group. We strongly encourage you to enjoy a vast array of those professional networking groups. There are wonderful people in there. There are networking opportunities for you after graduation. So that's another good place to look, but we are always here to have the larger discussion. Dr. Rose is an incredible resource. She can help you out with any deeper questions with that, but we are here to assist. All right, a little bit about those field requirements. So the practicum is going to be one term, that 10 to 15 hours per week. So our master's degree is giving students the opportunity to really get out there and see what it's like. You will have synchronous supervision. So that means that you will be meeting live with a small group of students, even though you are doing this internship and practicum on your time in the community. You'll have a faculty member that will help you discuss things weekly, including that field experience or anything you might be working through, and then connect that to the learning that is in your classroom. You will also have a chance to do an internship after that practicum. So it is more focused than that practicum. This will be 15 to 18 weeks. It'll be over 4 terms, and then it focuses on assessment, treatment, and working with clients directly. So as you can see for the practicum, reviewing client intakes, co-therapy, things like that. Again, building that base. And then as we move into the internship, you are working more with those clients. And people have done telehealth options before. So if you were thinking, hey, what about telehealth? That could be feasible for you. So let's talk about the admissions requirement. If you are ready to join us here at University of Western States, the thing we recommend most is connecting with an admission advisor for admission call. This will help us determine whether or not we're the right fit for you, and then talk about some of your goals and prepare you for joining us. So we'll be able to look over those transcripts, get any of those questions that you might have out of the way. When you're ready, that's fantastic. You'll want to go online and submit a completed application before the priority deadline. And I always recommend the priority deadline, and here is why. That priority deadline that you see online, that if the program were to get full, we would look at the students who are applying before that deadline before we start looking at the ones after. So if you're worried about getting your place in the class, if you want to make sure that you are enrolled this fall or in the spring with us, the thing you want to do is make sure you are looking at that priority deadline. We do have a final deadline that is the very, very last day you can submit it. But again, the earlier, the better. You'll want to also send official transcripts from every institution that you may have attended. And then in there, you'll see essays. They should be between, or you'll see an essay that should be between 250 and 500 words for you. So make sure that you are hitting that. And then when you are admitted, you will confirm that with a deposit after going through these final steps that you see on the screen. We do have a personal interview with the program director. This is a step that qualified applicants will move on to. We require that you get 2 letters of recommendation as well. Do pay attention here. It says that we do encourage mentors, but one of these must be academic in nature. So make sure that you are keeping an eye out for somebody who might be a good recommender for you. We send this through the application. So if they write a letter, that's fantastic. We have a front desk email that we can give to you, admissions@uws.edu. Great catch-all for things like those documents. If they want to send it directly there and mention your name, that's fantastic. But if you are hoping for something even simpler, head to the application. You will have a chance to put in their email addresses, and then you press send. It will go right to their inbox. They can fill it out from the comfort of their home. And then it is a drop-down survey where they have a chance to put in more detail as well, or attach a letter of their own. So if you need any help with that, you let us know. We do have a tip sheet for best practices when we're requesting recommendations. So let us know if you do need any help with that. And like I was mentioning, after we get through this, after things are going really well, you're really excited about the program, you look in your inbox, it's a congratulations letter. After that, to secure your spot, you will want to put down your $300 deposit. That will keep your safe place for the fall or spring when you start. After all of that, we will also do a background check for you. So University of Western States covers the cost for you, but we do need you to successfully pass a background check. All right, a little bit about financial aid for you. Tuition is due on the first day of the quarter, and that tuition is calculated by credit hour. Payment plans are available. Our business office is fantastic at helping with that. If you would prefer that you had your payment divided into three equal parts throughout the term, we can be of help with that. The business office is able to have that arrangement. It's $10 every time you do that arrangement. You don't have to do it every term if you do end up using financial aid or another way to pay, but that is available for you. And then a great website for any additional questions that you have. UWS.edu. That is a fantastic one, especially our Connect with Admissions virtually page. Some of you may have found us through that, but for those who did not, if you head to the top of that website, you should see something that says admissions. That will then drop down. You get a menu that says Connect with Admissions. Head there to see all of the amazing things that we put online, or go right to our YouTube channel and see any of the recent webinars that we've done. Our alumni office also doing fantastic work. So financial aid is available for both of these degrees. I mentioned that larger degree earlier, available for that one. And then the master's degree, the main one we've been talking about here, it is available. You do want to be enrolled in at least 5 of those quarter credits, and you'll want to remain in good academic standing as well. So let's talk about next steps. Your next step, I know I already said it, but I'll say it again. Reach out to your advisor. We are so helpful, at least I hope we are, in getting you ready for whatever that next step looks like. We are able to answer your questions about your case specifically. If it's ever helpful to hop on something like a Zoom meeting, we can do that, but we normally call you over the phone, have a conversation that's 15 or 20 minutes, really gets a lot of those great questions out of the way. So don't hesitate. We recommend applying at least 6 months in advance, but that's okay if you're cutting a little bit closer than that. Again, hop on the phone with us. We can be of help. That fall cohort begins in October. The due dates for that one, they're due about 8 weeks in advance. So that will be at the beginning of August for the very, very final deadline. The spring cohort begins in April, and those deadlines for the very, very final ones will be at the beginning of February. So whichever one of these might be best for you, we are here to help. But uws.edu, fantastic starting place. And then our final slide here is some contact information for you if this might be an easier way for you to get in contact, or maybe you're watching this after business hours and you want to make sure that you get an email sent back to you answering some of those questions. Feel free to send them here, admissions@uws.edu. They will connect you with your admissions advisor. If you had questions about financial aid, no problem. You can find them at finaid@uws.edu, or that phone number you're seeing on the screen there. And finally, if you're feeling ready to start that application, we would love to be of help. uws.edu/apply is where you'll head. We look forward to hearing from you. We can't wait to see your application. Again, my name is Georgia. It has been a pleasure to have you here today. If you are excited about this program the way we're excited about this program, hop on the phone with us, send us an email. We are happy to be of help. I promised I would get you out of here in less than 30 minutes. It looks like we did it. Thank you again for joining us. I'll let you get back to the rest of your day. But again, we would love to have a chat with you. And thank you for your interest in University of Western States. Have a good rest of your day.